Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
I'm Devon.
That is perfect. We're going to leave that in. So, this is our list of 2023 games we are most excited about. If you missed it already, over on our live show, we do a live show every week.
How is it 2023? You're lying. This is our 2022 most excited, right?
I think so. I always do stuff in years that's not relevant to people.
There's no way we could be in 2023 already.
If it's not a board game, does it matter what year it's from? Anyways,
this is my favorite 10 RPGs of my top 10 board games.
If you missed it, we do a live show every single week. Every single Wednesday, tune into the live show. We do it live. That's why it's called the live show.
It's a good time.
And we did this past week or 2 weeks ago. I don't know, it depends when you watch this video. But we did 2023 games we're excited about. The problem is there were so many of them that we decided to do a full dedicated video, and we just talked about our overflow on that list. But if you want to see our overflow, if you want to see the 11 through whatever number, then you can check that live stream. Highly recommend it.
I didn't rank those.
I know, neither did I.
Okay.
Yeah, those are just
However,
arbitrary.
that live show is not time-stamped. Maybe we will for that
I
particular
ranked
one,
this
so you
one,
can jump
guys.
to when we talk about that part.
I ranked this list for you guys.
I am so proud of you right now, you have no idea. This is the 2023
Seems
games
genuine.
Are you
we
starting with
are
number
most
one?
excited about. As far as the order of what we're doing over here, in general, I don't know what necessarily criteria you guys use. For the most part, I sorted on BGG. I did an advanced search on BGG for 2023 titles. I have one game in there that's listed as 2022, but that's a lie because it's 2023 and that game has not arrived yet. And then I tried to use common sense as far as, sometimes the games are listed as 2023, but they're not actually showing up until later, and we know that. But whatever criteria you put in place is fine. There are judgment calls to be made, and Devon, with your face looking like that, you can go ahead and start us off with our first one.
I have to make an addendum somewhere.
What's your number 10?
I have to make an adjustment somewhere.
Did you
You
forget
can't.
one?
I forgot one that I can't believe I forgot.
You
Okay,
can't, Alex
no.
has all the tabs.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it at some point, but it will be talked about ambiently at some point. Are you doing it as your number 11?
It would be so high on this list.
It could be number 0 at the end.
If it helps, I also forgot one because I had to throw up the pictures and stuff, so I know the list, and that means there's one on Meg's list that I
can't believe I
completely
forgot that
forgot
game.
about, and I'll just piggyback on yours.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very excited about it.
I
Should
hope
definitely
that
be
one
on
of
my
you
top
guys
10.
talk about it, and then I'll just piggyback.
So let's start with that.
Okay.
Devon, your number 10.
My number 10 is Tidal Blades, Rise of the Enfolders. Technically, Tidal Blades 2, Rise of the Enfolders. And this, I actually got the pledge level that has both the adventure campaign and the RPG.
You would. Are we even talking about the board game?
Yeah, it's actually just the RPG.
The RPG.
That's what I'm
RPG.
most excited about. So I had a chance to play this at, goodness, was it Gen Con when...
PAX Unplugged was the first time you showed it, last year.
That's
Then
when I
it-
played it.
I played it with
Not
Matt
last year.
back
2
in
years
the,
ago.
like...
Well, not this past one. The one
yeah,
before.
I think it was...
I guess that is 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Technically. It's 2023. We
2021.
barely hit 2023.
So I maybe it was PAX Unplugged then, because I played it back in the open section where they had a table
That's
for
probably
it,
PAX
and Matt
Unplugged.
demoed it
Yep.
for me. So
Yep.
yeah, I guess it was 2 PAX Unplugs ago.
Yep.
Golly.
In the
Man.
ancient times.
In the ancient times.
In the before times.
No, it was right in the middle of the time. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this. I have Tidal Blades 1, and I still have not played it.
What?
It's one that is on my list of ones that I really would like to table out of my collection.
a
I'm
nice
excited
chapter.
about it. I have the deluxe edition for it. I really want to play it, but I have had a chance to actually sit down and at least try some of this, and I did it kind of follows the model set by Jaws of the Lion and other ones that have a scenario booklet, which to me really increases accessibility of being able to sit down
Yep.
and play it when you don't have
agree.
a full map that you have to build out or anything. So I'm excited about that, and I do think that the visual world that the Mr. Cuddington, duo, those two teammates or partners that they had together, I think that they really crafted a compelling visual world, and I think that because of that, it really is well suited to having an RPG system in it. So I'm excited to see what they do in the RPG world, and then I'm also really excited for what I think is going to be one of the more accessible campaign-style games I've seen.
So that's the key words. For me, this one did not actually make my list, although arguably should have, because when I first played Tidal Blades, my opinion of it was the accessibility aspect. I thought it was an accessible campaign game to the point that my video review, this is actually fun trivia for you, my video review is originally going to be titled Tidal Blades, the game I'm getting rid of Gloomhaven for. Just because of how accessible and easy it was to table. The problem is, that review started right around the time I started playing Gloomhaven Digital with you, and I was like, well, apparently I'm not getting rid of Gloomhaven anymore because I like it too much now. So, but the key point wasn't. It's not that I think Tidal Blades is better than Gloomhaven. I think Gloomhaven is better than Tidal Blades. But it's that Tidal Blades was so accessible and easy to play.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna pick the game that's easier to table.
Yeah.
And it's definitely more charming. Like, for Gloomhaven, I do think it is a better game, but that being said, if you're looking for something brighter and a bit cheerier, it's still difficult, but I think that it is like a happier world to be
It
spending
is
time
happier.
in.
And
those
we've
birds
talked
you
about-
slaughtered were multicolored and flavorful.
We've talked about this in previous videos, but like I really enjoy and am compelled by the mechanics of Gloomhaven. I'm not pulled in at all by the world of it, and like I am pulled in by the world of Tidal Blades. Like it is, like you said, I think a lot more inviting, a lot more interesting, a lot more visually like appealing. So yeah. I'm with you on that point.
And I've played both, and I would say they're both very different games. That they're in the same world, almost like how Banner Festival is in the same world, but they're totally different games.
Yeah.
The Tidal Blades, the original, is very, very different. I prefer Rise of the Enfolders.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Because that's what I played, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Meg, you're number 10.
I thought it was you next.
No, it's you next.
Okay. My number 10 is a game that you two got to play together that I wasn't invited to, and I still haven't gotten to play, but it's Dune War for Arrakis.
Dun dun dun.
Ooh, I want to play it so bad. Do you want to play again?
I would love to.
I would play with you.
It's available on TTS.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I'd love
it
to.
would all it would take would be to do a small rules refresher.
I was gonna say, maybe you can play with the right rules this time.
I was going to say rules refresher. You have to play it right the first time.
Who was also the other 50% of the people reading the rules? I swear it was
Who
someone
took
at the
responsibility?
You
for
cannot
reading the
trust
rules?
this one with reading rules.
table. Both of us did.
No.
I just said I have played enough to where I feel comfortable teaching.
I believe the way it worked is I said, I've read all the rules up except for the last section. I didn't get the last 2 pages done. That's what happened. I was like, I didn't get the last 2 pages done. Do you know how the sandworms operate? You're like, yes. That's literally the conversation we had.
But we actually read the rules, and even though we did get it wrong, to me it is easily interpreted the way that we played it.
I wouldn't know. I never read it. I just trusted you.
We read it. I literally sent you the text afterwards.
Oh, vaguely. I recall that. now. Yeah.
Oh, vaguely.
And you're like, oh yeah, that wording is difficult.
No, it's your fault. It's probably your fault. Meg, go ahead. Tell us about your game.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this one. It's a asymmetrical PvP battler where you are, trying to fight each other in the world of
Basically.
Dune.
Yeah.
I haven't looked a ton into it. I know how much you guys have spoken of it, and I am very interested in the Dune world. That just hearing everything that you guys had to say about it, I really want to try it. I think I would try it before trying to get it, but I want to play it with you guys.
Cool. Number
I'm
10.
very
excited for
excited.
it.
I'm very interested.
My number 10 is Lorcana. Disney's Lorcana. And this is an interesting one for me to put on my list because I don't know if I'm even going to ever play it or get
LCG?
involved in it. It's not an LCG. If it's an LCG, it'd be more appealing. It's a CCG.
That's the
That's a
acronym. I
big
meant.
difference.
Are you
Yeah.
a Disney fan?
I do like the Disney universe
But not
of
like
stuff.
not a fan. Or
To me, the
Is
thing
it
about
more
Lorcana...
Disney or more Pixar? Even
More
though
Disney.
they now own Pixar.
I think it's more Disney.
It's it's
Yeah.
like Mickey and
But I mean, Lorcana is going to be a trading card game from from Ravensburger, and it's going to be. I don't know much about it.
It's
I've
not a
seen some of the
trading card game,
cards.
It's a collectible card game.
Aren't those
It's
trading
a
card
difference.
games? Aren't those trading card games?
Just wanted to...
It's a collectible card game from Disney, from Ravensburger and Disney combined, in which the art looks amazing, the graphic design of the cards looks amazing. It pulls me in a way that is astounding, considering it's a CCG, which I have no interest in anything that's a CCG model at all ever after Magic the Gathering, because, well, that took up my life once upon a time, and I don't know if I can afford to do that again. But this does look cool, and it looks compelling, and it looks easy, and I can justify it with, like, I'll play it with Ricky or something like that. I don't know.
I think
But
as
Lorcana-
someone who played competitive TCGs, there are 2 avenues you can go with it. If you're really going into competitive play and things like that, you'll try to keep up and buy it. But you can also play it very passively. That I think this is one that we might play a bit passively.
I don't
with, like
do
our
anything
decks are our
passively.
decks.
Don't do
I don't do
anything
anything.
passive.
My entire problem with
That
board
is
games...
so true. Like,
My entire problem with board games is I do all in. Like, I'm in Marvel Champions, and all I do is I keep buying more Marvel Champions packs. Why do I keep buying them every month? Do I play it more than once a month? No, I play it like once every other month. I keep buying a pack every month, though.
Yeah.
Why? Because they exist and I must have them. I don't do anything.
they exist. I must.
When I
have
got
them.
into Magic the Gathering, do you know what I did to make sure that I can actually do the business, to do the game I was doing?
What?
I started a business around it. I was like, literally, I'm just going to buy all the Magic the Gathering cards and just sell the extras and just start a business. I started an online business so that I could be as involved in Magic the Gathering as I wanted to be.
That's cool.
Let's go gambling. Let's go gambling.
Let's go gambling.
I'll roll
I would
the
love to
dice.
go play poker.
Devon, you're number 9.
My number 9 is poker. My number 9 is Cybertrunk.
Cybertrunk.
It's
Cyberpunk.
Cybertrunk. It's
about
a
an
different
elephant.
type. Yeah. It's the new take on Dumbo. And
Space
it's
Lost
Cyberpunk 2077 Gangs of Night City. Words are hard for me today. I can't talk, I can't type, I can't do anything. I'm useless. I'm really excited about this. I got to play this. This seems to have been contrived or inspired by, I think, Godfather, Corleone's Empire a little bit, potentially
loosely,
in terms of like some of the structure of it. It's an area control game set within the Cyberpunk 2077 universe, and I had the opportunity to play the prototype several times. I did like it. We played kind of the tutorial, which to me actually works really, really well as a tutorial because it shows you how to play quite quickly and get you in. The problem is that I enjoyed it enough that I wanted it to be a longer experience, and I always felt like the 2 times that we played it online and digitally and then physically whenever the prototype was
you played
here.
physically too?
Yeah.
Interesting. Don't remember.
Both times I felt like I got just almost where I wanted to be with like the progression of my clan,
I remember that.
and I just didn't get to actually do what I wanted to do, and so I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see how I feel when I go through the actual, like, chained objective, like, quest modes, where you're, like, actually seeing how the story unfolds and, like, how that affects the decisions you make and the length of the play. Yeah. So, really excited about this. You know, a smaller campaign from CMON standards, but a IP that I am excited by, and also a combination of mechanics that do intrigue me.
Yeah, and also to save time, both Cybertrunk as well as Dune are games that I didn't put on my list, not because I'm not excited for them, but because some of these Kickstarter dates, I'm just like, if I wasn't as sure, I tried prioritizing something I was more sure about. But I think they both will deliver in 2023, and they are both excellent titles. Yeah.
Now, Devon, do you feel you didn't get far enough because you were new to playing it and didn't feel you were playing as optimally, or do you feel like it wasn't actually long enough for you to get that far?
So the tutorial is designed to... I think it does a good job. It is designed to present you with everything you need to know how to play the game, and it ends quickly. At the point where I was like, I got done and I was like, I want to play again, which I think is a good thing for a tutorial to do. Yeah. And it also was enough without being like a burdensome experience.
Taste to get
but it was just a taste, but it did legitimately tell you how all of the action like selection
But then
worked.
when we played it physically, we played past the tutorial. We played a story mode. Maybe you didn't. I played a story mode.
I didn't.
Oh, interesting.
I played just the tutorial again.
Oh, I played the story mode.
So when I was playing with, I think it was, I know it was West. I can't remember if it was Shira or Jesse or both of them. But when we played, I played the tutorial again to guide them into it, and then you played the story mode afterwards. So.
I liked the story mode. I thought the story mode made the game more fun and less balanced.
Interesting.
Because it added a little chaos and randomization. So it's like, oh, you just got rewarded for the thing you didn't know that it was going to reward you. And it's like, okay, great. The game's more interesting, but a little less balanced. Yeah, so I was pro and con in story mode.
Cool.
Anyways, Meg, your number 9.
My number 9 is Primal. This is one that I keep asking Alex to play, and he keeps saying it's coming, so we can't play the prototype.
I just don't want to relearn prototype rules, only to have to relearn the actual rules.
Yeah.
It's just like, otherwise I'd pull it off. It's right behind over there. It's behind that little beautiful sign that's Board Game Co-sign up there. But yeah. Go ahead.
It is a campaign.
Yes, it is.
It's cooperative, but it's a full...
Yes. So the way it works is it's a Primal takes place, I believe, across 10 missions. It might have been 15, I don't recall. Or it might be variable. It might be 10 to 15. But Primal is, there are single-shot modes. You're fighting off these monsters. You're defeating them slowly. You're mining them for various resources you'll then use to craft in the various forges to build more equipment as you then power up and level up and build stuff up. It's very Marvel Champions in the card play system. So you draw a hand of 5 cards, and the cards pay for the other cards. So like when you have a hand of 5 cards, you're like, I want all of these, but I have to give up some of these to pay for these other ones. It's a cool system. I like it.
I'm excited because it is a campaign mode. And again, hearing how much you've talked about it. And is that what I have the dragon from? Yes.
You have a dragon from me? No.
I think so.
No, you have the dragon from Arena the Contest.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I play that game so bad.
Why is that not on this list for me?
Uh-oh.
Arena the Contest should be on this list for me.
Did you make a mistake?
I make a mistake.
Uh-oh.
Arena the Contest should be on this list for me, and it's not. Arena the Contest Tenaris Adventures. Oh my gosh, that's sad. Okay, well, that's going to be neither here nor there. But my actual number 9 instead is going to be 20 Strong from Chip Theory Games. 20 Strong from Chip Theory Games is one that should almost certainly be delivering in 2023. This was on GameFound. This is a smaller box adventure in the Chip Theory Games library, which the last time they did that was Trip Lock, which I did not like one bit. I thought it was okay. It was tolerable. Their other games, though, I love all their other games. I think Burn Cycle is amazing. I think Cloudspire, Too Many Bones, Hoplomachus, I think they're all excellent games. And for me, I'm very much looking forward to the solo puzzle that 20 Strong is going to present, as you have your 20 dice, your 20 strong warriors, and you try to face off against procedural challenges, knowing when to expand and when to manage your resources in this solo puzzle. It just seems cool, and it seems Chip Theory, and I like Chip Theory. We'll play a co-op. Yeah, we'll play a co-op. The solo game. We'll play the solo game co-op, which we've done before, so that will be a thing.
That's how we played Hoplomachus.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's my number 9. What's your number 8, Devon?
My number 8 is Septima from Mind Clash Games. So this is one that I got to see the prototype, and I was doing other work whenever I was up here, and it was here, and I did not get in on the gameplay. And I have Anachrony at my house. I played it once by myself, and I had a really, really good time with it, but it's not the type of game that I can table with most of the people that are in Little Rock with me. And so I've wanted...
Septima is still a lot.
It's still a lot, but I think it's less lot. I think it's less a lot.
Less lot.
I think it's less lot.
Yeah, Lancelot's little known brother.
I also really like the kind of it reminds me of like one of my favorite kind of video game horror anthologies is from like Supermassive, the people who did Until Dawn and Man of Medan and stuff, and they did one in kind of like a Salem witch town.
Until Dawn is so fun.
It's so good. It's so good. And so it kind of reminds me of that, like this kind of ritualistic, interesting, like witch environment and like a coven and, all of the different things you have to balance in that kind of a scenario. And I just love the art design on it.
Yeah.
And it's one that has repeatedly kind of been in my mind as like, man, I wish I could have played that. And it's kind of been the one that got away in terms of some of the prototypes that have been up here in Cleveland when I've been here. I don't know. No idea.
Maybe you can have? Oh, no, I returned it to them. You can't have it.
I can't
Never
have
mind.
it. So.
This is one I'm really interested in, too. It didn't make my list, but I am very interested.
Yeah, so 8 for me is Septima.
Speaking of making a list, Meg, what's your next one?
My next one is The Witcher Old World. I am so excited for this one. Full disclosure, my only experience with The Witcher World is the TV show, but I'm absolutely obsessed, and I'm so into it that I got very obsessed and rewatched it multiple times. So for a game to be coming out where you can play in that world, I'm very excited.
Yeah. I'm very excited about this one.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how it plays because you're playing against everyone else, unlocking different quests and things like that. Trying to basically
maybe I'll talk about it later
them.
in this video.
Maybe we'll talk about it soon. But yeah, hearing that it is not co-op.
It has a co-op mode.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Yes. So one of the expansions they have, the something hunt, the ghostly hunt, the white hunt, the something hunt.
Oh, you talking
Talk about it during your turn.
Oh yeah, I'll talk about it later.
kidding.
I'll talk about it later. We'll talk about the number. That's your number 8.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be
hunt.
playing in something like that. We play a lot of co-op, so.
I think it's the white hunt, but I could be wrong.
Maybe.
Black hunt.
No, it's not the black hunt. Definitely not.
Usually we do play a lot of co-op, but I think for something like this where I'm very excited for the IP, similar to Dune, I'm very excited to try out something that is a free-for-all.
Yeah, which are the ghost hunt? I don't know. Which are all the expansions? It's called something hunt. Whatever. I'll let you do that.
The Great Hunt.
My number 8 is Last Light from Roy Kennedy. A title that always makes its way into all my excited for lists because I'm very excited for Last Light.
This one should be on my list.
This one, there's a lot. Again, there's lots of things we missed. I cannot believe I missed the Terrace Adventures. Have I played it? Yes, I played
Wild
Last
Hunt.
Light. The Wild Hunt. Oh, that's what it is. But for Last Light from Roy Kennedy, this one is one where we actually probably all will have a chance to play it at Dice Tower West. I don't know what your story is at Dice Tower West. We'll figure that out later.
I've only played it online.
You did play it?
Yeah.
I didn't know you played Last Light.
Yeah.
Totally. How? I feel like we must have talked about this and I probably forgot.
I want to say it was maybe 2020 that it was Gen Con Online.
What do you think
I played
of it?
it with Roy.
Nice. What do you think?
I enjoyed it, but it was a while ago. But
So-
that's why I'd love to play the physical version because if I'm playing it only online, I do kind of I get less excited about the game. It's harder for me. That it's one that I would love to try in person.
Yeah, I played it both online and in person, and then online again 2-player as well. So I played a 2-player, I played a 3-player, and I played a 4-player, both online and in person. I was actually worried that in person would be not as easy to manage, considering online does a lot of stuff for you, but it was excellent. To me, the thing about this is it's a 4X game that genuinely plays in an hour or less. Genuinely. It gives you that 4X experience. Now, it's not going to be Trial and Imperium.
so
There's
tempting.
inherent trade-offs in the conversation.
No, but I mean, Roy is someone who I have been very eager to like be able to spend more time with, because he is one of the people on the Dice Tower who, I know that he's typically behind the scenes kind of making stuff work, but whenever he is on and in lists, his list is usually much closerly like aligned with what I think my tastes are.
Lots of Marvel Champions, which I know is one
and
of your favorite
so so I just his like gaming preferences always have made me feel like we would probably get along quite well, and he has a lot of like space and 4X stuff that he prefers, and so do I in a lot of the games that I love. And so Last Light has been one that I would adore to get to the table.
Genuinely plays in an hour, delivers an amazing experience. I think it's insane what he's managed to do. Like, I've played a lot of these 4X games that are meant to be like shorter, and usually they're not that short, and they feel like there's more compromise on what the game delivers. I think Last Light just it's fast, it's punchy, you play your cards, you build up your engine, you attack each other, just rinse and repeat again and again, and an hour later somebody won and you just start the next game.
Nice.
Yeah.
An hour later, somebody won.
Somebody won. Moving on to your number
That's what
7.
Alex says when it's not him. He's like, somebody won.
It's rarely been me. Moving on to your number 7, Devon.
My number 7 is Distilled from Paverson Games. So this is Dave Beck. He's the designer of this and the founder of.
In the
God bless you guys. Yeah.
There's lots of good games.
Yeah, so
Dang.
Distilled is just one of those titles that for me is like has such like a little soft spot in my heart. Like, I really love Dave, and I think he did a fantastic job with the campaign. I mean, I think it, I don't know since the campaign happened if it's been changed, but I think when Distilled launched, it was like the highest funded project from like a first time publisher.
It did like $500K for like
Yeah.
a first time publisher, which is very impressive.
Yeah, so it did really, really well. I think he did a great job with it. I think that, I like cocktails. I like, making drinks for friends. I like making drinks for myself. And I think thematically, it did a really, really good job of making me feel like I was doing something authentic to what he intended the game to be, which is where each player is like crafting their own distillery. And I think that a lot of the expansion elements kind of like, I think a lot of people online and stuff like that get the core experience for the first time, but the expansion elements where you get the different types of rooms and things that like customize and create more things to chain off of and more combos to discover and more scoring potential outside of like just the core brewing and scoring of the spirits that you make. I think that is where Distilled is really, really going to shine. But it's just one of the, like, I have some cousins out in LA who I love and who we always talk about like drinks and spirits and stuff. And I want to sit down with them and play this so bad. And so like, I've been waiting for Distilled for a while now, and I like it a lot.
Cool.
Nice.
Meg, your number 7.
My number 7 is another is it the first crossover?
It might be the first This is the first crossover. Yes, it is. It's the first crossover.
The first crossover. I'm very excited about Lorcana. As someone who started as a TCG player, I have played.
It's an LCG, right?
Yeah.
It's co-op. I've played a ton of Pokemon, a ton of Magic, Kaijudo. I think those are the 3 that I tried the most of. I've played a little bit of Vanguard and tiny bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm very, very excited to see Lorcana. I think that their graphic design is beautiful. I think that the way that they have it set up is like very accessible to start play quickly and understand the cards. I'm very excited for what this looks like. That I hope it plays as well as it looks.
I agree with that, because it looks like they did a really good job with making it accessible and cool looking, and also not light either.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very excited. Yeah. Maybe I'll play with you.
And I've cooled off of Disney a bit, like, as I've gotten older, and I think this is something that could bring me back into also like being more into Disney again. I took a little break, but
at the edge of the water long. I've never left Disney.
I've
never left.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited for Lorcana. We'll be
nice
spending money there, I think.
Speaking of spending money, what do you want to spend it on?
My number 7.
Ooh.
Can you move back a tab? Sorry, accidentally moved back
Spoiler.
one tab. Sorry about that. I went too fast on the little button switching there. I did a double kick. Arydia. I was so excited about Arydia. I double kicked it. Arydia is. Very exciting game that I had a chance to play this one, and this was a game that was on Kickstarter. I wasn't planning on covering it. I was like, hey, this looks cool, but also lots of the games look cool, and this looks like so much work as you have like literally 3 levels. You have the giant overworld map, then you have like the actual scenario encounters, then you have the dungeons inside that. So it's like there's literally 3 levels as far as everything you're going through. And I was like, this looks overwhelming, and I just don't think I'm actually going to commit to it. And they reached out and they're like, hey, would you like to play it on TTS? I was like, sure, I'm always happy to try things out. And I played it on TTS, and I was like, send me this right now so I can cover it right away. And then I played it in person as well.
And since then, you've also played Xayah, right?
I have played Xayah. I played Xayah before this, technically.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
I played Xayah Legend of Your System before this, then I played again after as well. And this made me get back Xayah. Made me remember just how much I liked it and enjoyed it. But Arydia the Past Video Tread. It's a RPG adventure game. You can play it solo, you can play it co-op, you can play it with multiplayer. Not co-op, really. I guess it's inherently co-op. I think, yeah, it's co-op. You're working together against the world. I think. Yes, you are. Yes. I'm trying to remember how it works, because it's solo.
It is co-op.
It's not competitive, is my point. Solo or co-op. And it's one in which the 3 levels of adventure they give you on the overworld map, diving into it, and it felt like very video gamey in a way that some people will be like, why don't you just make it a video game? Yeah. Maybe. I really enjoyed it. You have these aspects where I walk into an inn, and then I could talk to the innkeeper, or I could just walk upstairs and start finding things in the inn, and depending on who and what order you do things, you will have different branches of what's unlocked and what happens for you. You'll talk to the little boy at the river, and then depending on the branching storylines you actually engage with him, maybe he'll tell you about this treasure, maybe he won't, depending on how you talk to him. It really felt open world in what it's doing and how it's doing it. You gotta talk nice. You gotta.
I think one of the things that is exciting when you're in the content creation or like in the review cycle is you always are gonna have that like rhythm or ebb and flow of things that you're excited about, and they either fulfill that or they don't fulfill your expectations. But in terms of Arydia, it's always enjoyable for yourself and to see other people when there's a game that you don't know, like you just don't have expectations for, and that you're like really captured by. Like I remember the weekend when I came up to visit and you got that in. Yeah. And you were giddy. Yeah. And like you don't normally get giddy about stuff. Like you have like you have like a regular level of excitement. And
on board game.
And like when I came down, like before we even do anything, you're like, dude, look at this, and you were like pushing the tile, and you're like, look what's underneath here, and you get to do that. He's like, and then you can also do this thing over here, and like you were just so excited about it, and I was like, man, I didn't know about this game at all, but I was like, now I'm interested.
The only reason it's this low, because again, the level of excitement I have for Arydia is very high, and I don't know if the other 6 I have as much. Some of them I do, but not all of them. But at the end of the day, it is a campaign system, and those represent a barrier to me. Yeah. As much as I like Arydia, as much as I want it, I'm like, and the fact that, well, yes, we'll play it, we'll figure it out. But this is before we were doing Camp Co-op. Subscribe to Camp Co-op, where we play campaign games all the time. But the fact that I have a backlog of campaign games that I'm always trying to get through and never really getting through, that's the only reason it's number 7. Yeah. And in fact, even when we get to my number 1 and 2, I think I actually prefer my 2 to my number 1, but number 2 is a campaign game, number 1 isn't. Just spoilers stuff. We'll come back. Those barriers do represent things that get in the way.
Speaking of campaigns and accessibility, my number 6 is Kinfire Chronicles, Night's Fall, which is a very, very late entry into like the conversation of games that I'm thinking about for this year, because I didn't really know about it until I started looking at stuff for PAX Unplugged. Like when we looked at you know, when the 3 of us started doing research about games we were excited about, I hadn't even heard of this game.
I had.
And then once I looked at it, the art direction is amazing. It reminded me.
This is on my list.
It's not. I was surprised.
And so I saw it and I was like, wow, it's like a campaign game where really the session, like to me, this is the last light of campaign games. Yes. Where it's like, are you really telling me that I could get this played in an hour or less? Yeah. Like for each entry of the campaign? And like that is massively compelling, because I mean a lot of the reasons why I haven't dived into a lot of campaigns at my house that I really want to do with Amber or with someone else is because of not only just the setup and teardown, but the length of each time to play is hard to schedule. Yeah. And the idea of being able to have a game that isn't too hard to set up and also can play that rapidly, and I'm like, it's not improbable to say, hey, let's do a round of Kinfire tonight, and then I'll pack it up, put it up, and then we can get it out another night. And that's like not a hard argument.
In theory, if it delivers.
Yeah. And so the potential for that really excites me, because I think that like some campaign games are doing things to create more accessibility. Like, you know, at the bottom of this was Tidal Blades 2. Like, the scenario books do a good job of creating it to where you don't have to build out a map, and you can just play on that, and it, like, And so that creates some level of accessibility. But the thing that most campaign games have never been able to deal with is time. And if Kinfire can do that, it's going to make it really intriguing to me.
Yeah. And it's acrylic standees, I believe,
Yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
look beautiful.
They do look beautiful.
The art direction is like, I mean, I know it's not Arcane, but it reminds me of Arcane from the League of Legends animated show on
interesting.
Netflix.
I hear
And I'm
that.
just like, so about that.
Interesting.
All
I hear that.
about that.
Meg, you're number 6.
My number 6 is Dawn of Ulos.
Dawn of Ulos.
Okay, I know this one.
This is by Thunderworks. It is from the people that brought you. I think it's in the same world even of
Same world.
cartographers and roleplay adventures and roleplay.
And roleplayer.
And this is a tile placing game. It is competitive. I want to say a lot of the.
What's
Now
your
I'm getting
question?
lost.
I played this one. I know the answers. I should
Well,
know the
we
questions.
play we usually play role player adventures, which is co-op, and I'm
Yes.
excited for a competitive game in this world. And then I was like getting lost thinking about cartographers, but I'm just very excited for this one because
role
they
player.
make and role player, yeah, all of them except role
And
player
roleplayer.
adventures.
This entire conversation is and roleplayer. Their original game that made them popular. And roleplayer.
I am really excited for this one. I love the world. I'm obsessed with it. I know a lot of like the lore of it now at this point because we played so much role player adventures. I really want to play this one.
Yeah.
I want to get it to the table.
Yeah. Dawn of Ulos. So it has a lot of interesting overlap with Acquire, which is a game I really enjoy. Yeah. My number
looks
6.
great.
My number 6 is Seventh Citadel. Seventh Citadel, ones that I have been waiting a
This was
long
on my
time for.
overflow list.
Overflow, lots of overflow. So Seventh Citadel, I've been waiting a long time for this one. I believe it's been taking a long time. They originally they're like it's coming in 2022, and people are like, wow, that's so far out. And now it's 2023, and it's still going to be like late 2023, I think. But Seventh Citadel, from the people who brought you from Serious Pulp, who brought you Seventh Continent. I love Seventh Continent, but Seventh Citadel to me was better. Seventh Citadel brought you closer into the game. It had that aspect of the cards on the board. You're slowly putting it. Okay, cool. You want to grab tissues somewhere?
Pause.
Right over there. If you want to grab tissues. No, over there, right there. Box of tissues.
I mean, it is just water.
Yeah, it's just water. We got it. But
You want tissues?
yeah, just the tissues. So, anyways, that finally
You
happened
gotta
on
talk
camera.
while you're doing
Hey,
this?
no, yeah. So roleplay. So the what's it called? Seventh Citadel. Seventh Citadel is one that it is. Could you stop throwing dishes there?
I just didn't know how many you needed.
Seventh Citadel
You're
from
throwing those like
Serious
dollar
Pulp,
bills.
who brought you Seventh Continent, which is amazing, and it brings you those cards that you're slowly laying down on the board. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Hey, there's tissues right
Oh, that's what they are. That's what they are. So, in any case, it brings you that laying down cards kind of adventure and journey that Seventh Citadel does, but it brought you closer into the world with a higher degree of agency as far as feeling like you're controlling the characters, engaging in narrative, engaging in conversations with people, as far as feeling like you're just more involved in the world.
I do
And
love
it has,
that you just kept going.
yeah, of course. The shows must go on.
I saw that.
Show must go on. But we also need this one
There's
over
so
here.
much
This
like
one.
sawdust in here.
Yeah.
That.
Okay.
Oh my
Perfect.
gosh.
There's dice in there. My kid
Oh
put
my
some dice
gosh.
in
Do
there.
you want to fidget with something?
Anyways.
Why does the hole keep going that way?
Don't, what are you doing? Oh my gosh.
didn't know
Oh my
that the
gosh.
hole kept
You
going
messed
that
us
way.
up. We're going to keep going. Devon, do you want to take us on to your number 5? While I
Yeah,
clean
my
up this
number
mess?
5 is Voidfall.
My
So,
dad did it in there if you want help.
another title from Mind Clash Games.
Okay, go on.
And this one is definitely not going to be in the same level of maybe their most approachable as I was trying to talk about with Septima. But this is a design collaboration between David Turksey and I am losing it. The person, I think Nigel Buckle, the person that he did Imperium Legends
Nigel
with in
Buckle,
Classics.
Yeah.
And then the artwork is Ian O'Toole. And so it's absolutely gorgeous. I did not back this campaign at all. It is one that I
Were
knew.
you already on your hiatus at that point?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I was just on it.
When does that end?
Is
March.
that
March.
before or after your 16-hour live stream?
I have to do my 16-hour live stream first.
You owe me a 16-hour live stream.
So I have to do a 16-hour live stream before I end it. So if I haven't finished it by March, then I can't buy anything. I have to do the 16-hour live stream
Nice.
for my purchase that I made. We'll talk about that later. And so Voidfall is one that I didn't back it, and I don't know if it was on the cusp of when I stopped backing stuff or if it was before. But my main decision was it was a game that I had to play first because it's such a bear of a title, because it's so involved. I just wanted to try it out first. But I'm so excited for the prospect of it. Sci-fi is such an easy sell for me in terms of theme, and then The only thing that I'm worried about is that like Imperium Classics and Legends were ones that I grabbed from you after a while.
Yeah.
And I never played them.
Because
I just thought that they would probably be too high of a barrier to entry, and I would be the only one playing them. And I was like, if I'm playing these solo, what solo games am I going to pick other than this? And, you know, I'm going to pick Final Girl, I'm going to pick Space Hulk Death Angel. There's just other solo titles I'd play over them, and so I just didn't think I'd play it. And I'm worried that this is going to be a 4X version of that, where it's like, oh, I could play Voidfall, or I could just play Last Light, or set up a Twilight Imperium night, or, you know, do some other one that takes the same
Mind
amount of
Clash
time.
has a lot of cool titles, and I want to play all of them, but they do seem like a commitment. Same with Lacerda. Lacerda and Mind Clash, both publishers and designer, that I'm always interested, and I don't know if I'm going to follow through with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fair.
Meg, what is your... By the way, that was really cool with the card and the tissue.
Thank
very
you.
impressed with the way
That's
that
what
was.
sleeves are
That
for.
was very cool. But what's your number
Shout
5
out to
or
my
6?
Axie
5.
sleeves,
5.
which I am obsessed with. They're like knit, if you can't tell.
Yeah. What's your
Isn't
number
that
5?
cool? My
dope.
number 5 is gosh, Elizabeth Hargrave.
Yes.
Okay, it's the Fox Experiment. I don't know why I thought that was wrong. And it's also Beth Sobel, right?
It's also... Yes, Art by Beth Sullivan, yes.
So two ladies in the board game space made this roll and write where you are playing through different like generations of foxes. You're trying to like make them better, and I'm very excited to play this. I didn't get to try it or anything like that. I know they had a lot out about it, and I was very, very interested, but didn't get to play any of it.
Is it make them better like Rocket Raccoon make them better, or is it make them better like train them as animals?
That's the one.
No. No.
No, but it's not like you're not like augmenting them with laser weapons.
No.
This fox is slightly faster.
It's like genes, yeah, where you're trying
okay.
to breed like the best
Like put
type.
cute
of-
clothing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Is that serious?
Yeah, no, it was a joke.
That would be adorable. A fox in jeans.
Being stupid.
Yeah, you're using it to make the best foxes possible and play
Yeah.
against other people.
Based on actual science and... It's not science, history and things.
and
Yeah.
science.
And science,
Nice.
too. Yeah.
I haven't heard of this. I mean, I'm interested.
Really?
It sounds cool.
It's on Kickstarter, Pandasaurus Games. I was very excited for it. I like roll and writes, and it seems like a fairly involved roll and write.
Cool.
Could be cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Marvel Zombies, which showed up today. I'm so excited.
Zombies!
Marvel Zombies, which
Does it even count then?
is it 2023 right now?
You don't have to look forward to it though, because you've already got it.
But I haven't played
Oh,
it.
that's good.
Yes, you have.
We'll catch through. I played the Marvel Zombies prototype. So Marvel Zombies just showed up on my desk.
After this.
I'm very excited for this one. I love the Marvel Universe. Not the Marvel Universe. I love the Marvel Universe too. I love the Zombicide Universe. I've really been enjoying Zombicide Undead or Alive, which has really been throwing a wrench into my plans, because my plans were like, I'm going to keep Black Plague, I'm going to keep Marvel Zombies, and we'll get rid of everything else. And Undead or Alive is like, no, I'm fantastic, keep me. And I was like, okay, cool. You are fantastic, I will keep you. But Marvel Zombies...
It's right there.
It is right there. Marvel Zombies is also fantastic, and I'm very excited for it. And when we say after this, I believe we're currently planning on playing it tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah, tomorrow
So
morning.
after this, just with a delay.
With a delay.
Small delay.
Yeah. With an AP who really enjoys the Zombicide universe as well. Sorry, Meg. I'll bring it over to you. I'll bring it over. We can play it today.
I'm gonna change my flight.
I'm gonna change my play.
Hey, if
It's
you wanna
non-refundable, but I don't care.
If you want to play this instead of Twilight Inscription, we can change our plans.
You and I can do Twilight.
We will figure out our details later. But Marvel Zombies is an incredible addition to the
might have to.
Zombicide universe. We always have to... Honestly, we could play this with Travis.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I was thinking.
After this.
I like Marvel Zombies a lot. It's a great game. I like the Zombicide universe. I like the Marvel changes to it. And I just think it's fantastic, and it's my number 5. I'm very, very excited for it. I will play it a lot. Currently, I just have the base game, but I'm very excited for when all the Wave 2 stuff shows up, because I'm excited for the Wave 2 stuff to show up. I'm excited.
Hype,
Sweet.
hype.
Yeah. Anyways, Devon, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is a crossover, The Witcher Old World. So I did not get to play this prototype. I don't have experience with it, but
Did you play it?
I have.
Well, I'm going to be talking about it later after this, actually doing this.
I have played The Witcher 2 on Steam with my computer, so I haven't completed it, but I feel like that's not unheard of with games like The Witcher.
You haven't completed The Witcher?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I started like 5 times.
So I've played The Witcher 2, I've played The Witcher 3, and I put like 30 to 60 hours in The Witcher 3, and then I have read almost all of The Last Wish, which is where a lot of the first season had its basis in terms of this short story book there that's got a lot of kind of some of the character building of Geralt and the world there, and then also Yennefer. And then I've watched the show. I've watched both seasons of the TV show, so I'm relatively familiar with a lot of it. I'm not like a hardcore fan in the way that I think a lot of people are who came to this Kickstarter, but I didn't get a chance to play it. I'm intrigued because it has the visual attraction of a big campaign game, but I think it plays in smaller bites in different ways, and like the card mechanics of moving around the map seemed really interesting, and your excitement for this kind of...
What excitement? I'm not excited. I haven't even put on this list yet.
It geared me up for being excited about it. So number 4 for me is The Witcher Old World, which I assume is going to be 1 or 2 for you. I assume it might actually be 2 because you said not a campaign. It's 1 or 2. I know it's not. I don't think it's 3 or 4 for you. I think it's 1 or 2.
Meg, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Race to the Raft by Frank West.
This is the one I forgot to put on my list.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw this pop up in yours, and I was like, no, I forgot Race to the Raft. This and Tenacious Adventure, so I owe 2 of you.
The cover is so cute. So this one is a co-op game, which is the first co-op game in the Isle of Cats series.
Yeah.
World. Where in all of Isle of Cats...
Technically, that's not true. Technically, that's not true. That's funny.
What?
Strictly speaking, Frank West's first game was The City of Kings, which is a kind of Gloomhaven-esque big box game where you control a bunch of characters and you're taking down baddies. And that was the first game that he had, and it's definitely cooperative. And it doesn't look the thing like the Isle of Cats, but strictly speaking, the cats you're saving are from that island.
Really?
So it takes place in the same universe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Even though it's thematically, it looks completely different.
Interesting.
I was nodding my head along. I was like, yep, I agree with you. It's the first co-op. And I was like, actually, I don't think it is.
Yeah, so in Isle of Cats, there's a... Oh, I forget the guy's name. Do you remember? There's a bad guy.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Frank West.
No. There's a bad guy. I think it starts with a K. And he is taking over an island, something like that, so the cats are all escaping. So you're trying to fit as many cats as you can on a boat so that they can escape and you save them. And in this one, these are all the cats that are still left on the island, and they are racing to rafts, and you are trying to help them escape before, and I think like lava's
Before
coming.
they drown.
Yeah, ideally. Or burn to
What?
death.
How would they drown?
No, really. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Literally, before they burn to death.
Yeah.
That seems anti
Meow.
the theme of
Meow.
saving animals.
Well, you don't want them to burn to death.
You are saving them.
You're saving them from burning to death.
Never mind. I'm just gonna... We should just move on.
We move on, okay.
Okay.
Speaking of moving on.
Oh, no, I was just like... rafts don't seem like safe things to keep animals safe on it. So I was
It's
like,
better than fire.
Sure, 2
Cats
elements
are smart.
that
They won't go in water.
they're gonna walk on it.
They won't go in it.
They won't... I'm just...
They don't like
Race
water.
to the Raft to me was one that this I left off the list. I completely forgot about it. It was on Kickstarter. It looked incredibly appealing. It has like 80 scenarios, all with advancing mechanics, and the idea of just overlaying cards. I love card overlay systems in general, and the idea of trying to create these patterns and chains as you help all the cats escape seemed completely my jam.
Yeah, you're trying to link pathways
So
to
excited.
the raft.
so excited.
I'm disappointed
things
that I
set on
didn't
fire.
remember
that you
this
didn't
one.
remember it.
Yeah, there's 3 games that I didn't put on this list. Well, 2 of them I remember now. Race to the Raft, Tenacious Adventures, and then the one I intentionally didn't put on because I'm not sure if it's 2023 is Unconscious Mind. But that to me was like, I just
That was
wasn't
overkill
sure.
for me.
I wasn't sure if it'd be 2023. That's the only reason it wasn't on.
That was a good... Same tone, same level, same duration. It was really good.
Same duration.
My number 4 is a game that to me is similar to the Tidal Blades and the Kinfire Chronicles that we talked about, which is Agemonia. Agemonia to me, it and also honestly, I threw the art up of the old one. They redid the art and the cover. It looks even cooler now. But Agemonia to me represents an accessible campaign game.
Oh, that
This one, no, that's the old one.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't look as
The
good.
new one looks cooler.
Oh, I'm excited for the new one. I didn't think that one looked as good.
I'll look it up later.
I can do it while you're talking.
Look
I'll
at their
do it while
Kickstarter
you're
updates. Look up Agemonia and just look at the updates. To me, Agemonia represented such an accessible, cooperative adventure game. We are totally, absolutely playing this in camp co-op. It's so easy.
Okay.
This to me is like roleplay adventures level, and I would choose this over roleplay adventures in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Okay, in a heartbeat. Although you might disagree with that.
Yeah.
But to me, this one is the thing about Agemonia that makes it. First of all, it's very accessible.
Is there a
but you're-
starfish and ice slug?
There's other
Maybe.
things. There's other things.
You should have said maybe.
Maybe. There's stuff you're gonna be wandering around the map over here. You looking at it? You looking at
Yeah.
it? Doesn't it look cooler?
It does look cooler.
Yeah. But anyways, it's a game. in which you're going to be wandering around and having different encounters. You have to choose where you have an encounters as you try to unlock the adventure that's going on around you. There's going to be some degree of combat that I think I prefer the combat here to roleplay adventures. But the thing about Agemonia is it was very adventure-y. It didn't feel like purely combat-based. It felt very adventure-y, and it felt very accessible in terms of both the ease of actually setting up the scenario and the ease of diving in, and the playtime for a lot of the scenarios. We only had 3 in the prototype, so I can't say all of them, but it did seem the playtime was on the shorter end, the sub 2 hours per adventure. Some of them under 60 minutes, and then the others around 90 minutes, so a little longer than Kinfire is promising at an hour per box. Agemonia to me, I've said this a lot about Agemonia versus Arydia. Arydia is no question to me a better game. It came out on Kickstarter around the same time. Arydia to me is no question the better game. But Agemonia to me is one that I'm more excited because I think I'll have an easier time tabling it and remembering what I'm up to, remembering what I was doing. It was just very accessible, very cool. I liked a lot of things that Agemonia was doing.
Nice.
That's my number 4.
Number 3 for me is...
That's my 4. Your number 3 is...
Number 3 for me is Total War Rome, the board game.
I don't know this at all.
So this is from PSC Games, who did Caesar and Blitzkrieg and stuff. And
I just lost all interest. She vanished. She's like, Total War, this looks interesting. Oh, it's them. Okay, never mind.
I was like, that's all I've ever heard.
So this is a board game adaptation of one of the seminal, like one of my absolute favorite PC games growing up. Like I adored playing Total War Rome. No, Total War Rome is the one.
Shogun was the original, I believe.
I think, yeah. So Total War Rome was just such a blast. Like you're in the middle of like the Roman Empire, but like technically when you're playing the game, you can pick other nations other than Rome, and it is a much more expansive version of like Age of Empires. So Age of Empires is, you have a kind of like a map that's more akin to like Red Alert or something like that, where you're building bases, like, and I'm thinking of like actually Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun. So like where you have a map that you're scrolling around on, but it's like a flat surface, and you're building on there. You're building buildings, you're building units, and you're going to have fights.
They had a cool concept in this one where you have the fog of war is basically I can see your army moving, but I have no idea what's in it.
Yes,
that was cool.
And so in Total War Rome, the computer game, the thing that I liked about it was zoomed out. And so you're focused on a much larger geographical map, more like Civilization or something like that. And you're seeing really the full map. And you're moving armies around, but not in the same way that you do in Age of Empires. And then for the combat in the computer game, when you actually have a fight, you can automate it, or you can choose to go into the fight, which is the one time when it takes you from a top down of a world into like a 3D space of the actual fights. And they're absolutely so much fun to have those encounters, because like it's real time combat with all of these units. And the engine back then just like blew me away as a kid playing that. And now they have like Warhammer, Total War, and stuff like that. So they have other types of versions of this game, but I have such a like nostalgic connection to the PC game that I couldn't not want to see what this was like. I didn't get a chance to play the demo of it or the prototype.
Seemed compelling, and other aspects just didn't pull me in enough.
Yeah, I'm really eager to see how this plays, because I like, to me it's just a connection to like my childhood. My childhood.
Meg, what's your number 3?
It makes you young again.
It makes me young.
My number 3. I feel like my number 3 should be my number. No. I'll say maybe my number 1, but then I remember what my number 1 is, and I think my number 1 is accurate. I don't know. Maybe this should be number 2. This might be me. Hey,
manually
it's my number
massaging.
3 right now. Yeah. Imagine this was my number 2, but it's.
Imagine this was.
Anyway, I'm just gonna get right into it. I gotta remember the exact name. It's the Lord of the Rings Adventure to Mount Doom. So this is a Cosmos game. The last Cosmos game that I played that I absolutely loved and was obsessed with was the Adventures of Robin Hood.
That's a lie.
That is a lie. Cosmos is kind of dominating my list, actually.
My City.
The last Cosmos game she played and is excited about is My City.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think I did love Robin Hood more, though. Well, I don't know. Okay.
How many times did you play Robin Hood?
Okay, stop.
How many times have you played My City so far?
I played through the whole campaign.
How many times have you played My City so far?
Too many.
Yeah, that's
Too
the right
many is
answer.
the right answer.
That's the right answer.
So This one I am super excited for. So it is a dice rolling game, which I love dice, and you are using that to go through a campaign, going through Mordor. So it's Lord of the Rings, it's Cosmos, it's dice. I am so excited to see this system because it's not just dice rolling. I think it's like a dice management unique system that they developed for this. Everything about it, I didn't know about it until I was looking through BGG for 2023 titles, and when I saw it, I was like, can I just go to sleep until this comes out? Can I just please be put under, wake me up when it's here? I really am excited about
And
this
this, I had no idea existed or anything about
No
them,
idea.
but between Adventures of Robin Hood and My City, I am very excited for this one.
Yeah.
And they've also done the whole...
And it's Lord of the Rings and dice and co-op.
Oh, they've done that whole other system.
And role player.
No, what's that other system they did? The Orange Box? Legends of something, maybe? They had the Orange Box one.
Oh, Legends of Andor.
Legends of Andor. They did the whole Legends of Andor
Yeah.
as well, which I've never played, but I kind of want to now.
It's okay.
Yeah, you're not as much into that one?
Not as much.
Okay,
I
cool,
did
cool.
enjoy it.
Don't need to play it then.
I believe I think it's like 5, it's a campaign, but it's only like 5 scenarios.
Balloon inflating.
And I think I
deflating.
stopped after 2.
Oh, gotcha.
I would say to rank them, Legends of Andor is below.
Well, if you've played it and you like My City and Robin Hood more, then that's easy enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, very solid. I'm very excited for this one. Did not know a thing about it.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is... My number 3? I screwed up somewhere. I screwed up in my situation here. 1 second.
Let me fix it.
No. I didn't hit the wrong thing. We just might have to do the wrong picture, but I'm pretty sure I got the wrong... Let me just check my...
Uh-oh.
I somehow messed up the order.
When you said uh-oh earlier,
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
it sounded like the song, you know, like, uh-oh.
Okay, my number 3...
Ugly mama, uh-oh. What's happening now?
My
you
number
so
3
much.
will remove the picture for it because I'm wrong on the picture for this one. I screwed up on that. My number 3 is My Island. Another Cosmos game directly
Wait.
off of this. I took the picture down because I don't have a picture up for it right now.
Shucks.
Right now.
That's not my island.
There's nothing up right now. But My Island is my number 3. The picture we'll figure out later. But anyways, I've been playing through a lot of My City. I played it originally physically, and then I've been playing it on Board Game Arena a lot, and then I got back physically to dive into it. It's just simple and compelling fun. It's 24 scenarios, and they're each like 20 to 30 minutes long. You dive into it, you play it, you go next one, another one. It's so much fun to do it.
DJ Khaled!
It was... Who are we? But I like My City a lot, and I've been waiting for My Island, if only because of the fact that it has hexagonal pieces instead of the polyomino traditional pieces, and that's already makes it more interesting. I don't know the differences. I don't know anything
What
about
did
it.
you just say?
It has hexagonal pieces instead of traditional polyominoes.
I don't think I knew that.
We'll see this shortly when there is a cover later for My Island.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyways,
I didn't know that.
I'm very excited for it. From Cosmos, that is my number 3
I didn't.
2023 pick. What is your number 2 pick, Devon?
My number 2 pick is a crossover.
Crossover!
Marvel Zombies.
Marvel Zombies.
So, and I can still say that this is one that I'm looking forward to because it may have been delivered at my house today, but
Was it?
I'm not at my house today, so I can look forward to
I'm
it.
still looking forward to it. Screw
Yeah. So, and this has been a surprise for both of us
Yes.
because we both did single wave shipping, and then you didn't even get a notification,
Yeah,
and then
nothing.
I got a notification, and I was like, "Is the entire pledge
Here's the
getting
problem.
delivered
Here's the
to me
problem.
right
This is
now?"
a mistake to say, because right about now, every single person watching this video who has done single wave shipping is like, is it going to show up? They're not waiting anxiously.
Yeah. So
Ignore
it could
it's
potentially
also
be
possible we are content creators and
creators,
on
yes.
their list
When
and
are
in a
you
different
posting
way.
this?
What? But when posting what? This video? I don't actually know. Sooner rather than later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't entirely know if it might just be for content creation in terms of like advanced shipping stuff going out, but even just having the core box here, I'm excited about, and I think this may actually be one of the very few like actually after this moments for us where we do play it very soon this afternoon
We might play it this
once we
afternoon.
finish this. So I'm genuinely really excited for it. I had a really good time. I have been cagey about Zombicide because you have been a proponent for it ever since I met you. And the thing that we've never been able to do has been I've never been able to sit down and play Black Plague with you.
Yep.
I have
And
a
the one
copy
you
of.
did play was easy to the nth degree. It was embarrassing.
We played vanilla
Second edition.
first scenario of Zombicide 2nd edition, and it was one of the most boring things I've ever done.
It was not good.
It was not interesting in the least, and so
and as a Zombicide player, I thought it was not that interesting.
yeah, and so like we got done with that, and Alex was like,
I'm so
I
sorry.
want you to know, I apologize for that that was not the type of like zombicide that I enjoy. We will have to rectify this at some point. And then we got the chance to play Marvel Zombies on TTS, and I had a blast. I had a lot of fun with it. It was an enjoyable time. Iron Man was really stupid, opened a bunch of doors that were unnecessary to open, and we almost died, but we got
It's a good thing that person who played Iron Man's not here at the table today.
Yeah, that would be good that person is not here to criticize.
Yeah.
But I had a really good time with it. I'm excited to see it, and since having gotten the pledge for that like set up back in the day, I have since then played a lot more Marvel United with the expansion content, and it has made me more okay with the idea of being happy and excited with finding a way to condense a large amount of CMON content and be able to craft like custom and enjoyable experiences with the extra stuff that's there beyond just the base.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really excited for Marvel Zombies.
Nice.
Yeah. Number 2, Meg.
My number two.
Or number 2, right?
Yeah, number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2.
My number 2. Okay. For a minute there, I thought that wasn't the right picture.
Oh, what's that picture?
My number 2, because it's not the same one that you put up, is
It's the same one I put up.
Okay. It's 20 strong. So, I've had a wonderful time exploring Chip Theory Games titles last year, and hopefully more into this year, but it is a dice rolling game, which I am fantastic at. Wait till we play Marvel Zombies. Devon, it's gonna blow your mind.
Oh, it actually could be fun.
It's gonna blow your mind.
I am interested to see because you two have hyped it up
You've
so
heard
much.
it, but you
that,
haven't
like,
experienced it
I need
yet.
to
She was
see
playing
it.
Final Girl Friday over on Camp Co-op, subscribe to Camp Co-op.
I rolled 11 successes in a row. Double stars.
Apparently,
the whole
like
time.
in chat, people are like, the odds in this are like
Yeah.
astronomically bad.
They just kept going where they're like, this is 1 in 17,000. This is 1 in like 100,000. This is 1 in like something million by the time I got to the end. So I'm very excited for this one. 20 Strong didn't grab me at first. I wasn't interested at first because I didn't love the base game art. But as soon as they started saying that there will be like the different decks for all of the IPs, there's going to be a Hoplomachus one, there's going to be a Too Many Bones one, and there's going to be...
the Wonderland's War person?
Yes.
Manny Tremblay?
Yes,
Manny Tremblay.
Manny Tremblay. Not Wonderland's War.
He did do Wonderland's
War.
War.
Yeah.
And he
That's
did
what I was
Dice
thinking.
Throne.
Dice Throne. I probably should have said
Throne is
Dice
what I was
Throne,
thinking. I'm really excited to try
Roleplay.
all of those. So I... When you said roleplay before, I was so confused for Cosmos.
I'm sorry.
I'm really, really excited to play this one, especially it being a solo game and it being a smaller game where you can take it around with you, which is something that I'm very interested in when I have a solo game because I do travel a lot. I cannot wait. And another thing, Chip Theory Games, please, everything's great. You guys make great games. I was not excited about the dice either, but then one of their stretch goals was to have the dice be a bit prettier and a bit nicer, and that is definitely what also pushed me over the edge.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this
Nice.
one.
What's your number 2?
My number 2, which is hopefully the right picture this time, but we're about to find out, is Primal. It is the right picture this time. Primal is one that I am ridiculously excited for. I mentioned already, my number 2 versus my number 1 is a campaign versus non-campaign conversation. The only reason Primal is not my number 1 is because it is a campaign game that has a slight hesitancy around it. I played this a long time ago, and this is one of those interesting ones where I played the first game, and I was like, that was good. I need another game. I was like, I need another game. I'm not sure what my opinion is. I need another game. And I played it again, and I was like, that's really good. I played it again, and I was like, this is so much fun. It is a boss battling game, which you're on a small little circle grid. It's a very tiny grid. It's not a huge map. You're just moving around the monsters, all you're doing. But then you're doing things like jumping on its back, and grabbing its horn, and like stabbing its sword into its back, and then just jumping off it, and hiding in a brush. As it turns around and whips around, you're trying to react them, because they have these triggers. The monster have these triggers. You have to be like, okay, great, right now the monster is going to react and do bad stuff if we hit him in the flank. So we have to not hit him in the flank this turn. We have to try to navigate around. And then you have the characters of the ranged archer manages to feel distance, and then you have your hand of cards, which has a very Marvel Champions vibe to it that I love Marvel Champions, and I love that system in Primal as well, where every single card is like, I want to play all of these, but do I go a little bit more defensively? Do I play this card? Do I try to react? Do I try to bide my time? It felt
Real
like...
talk, Alex. When
Yes.
is this coming? Because I've been asking for maybe 2 months now to play the demo copy, and you don't want to. When is this coming?
Soon.
But when?
Soon.
I haven't.
don't
So,
know.
like, what's weird is like my own cursory glance or like very skim research on it. I was like, not. But like you
Wait,
talking
wait.
right now, and I'm like, oh
But
man,
here's the
like,
thing.
this sounds really
Have you heard
good.
me talk about Wild Ascent?
Yeah.
Yes. Do I like Wild Ascent?
You like it a lot.
Okay,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
game would I recommend more?
I feel like Wild Ascent plays faster.
Primal in a heartbeat. And here's the
Wow.
reason. Here's the reason I recommend Primal more. I think they're both fantastic, and I love both of them, and they're both shorter campaign experiences, which means I can actually play them and feel like I'll actually finish them. The thing about Primal that's interesting is Wild Descent is not universally loved by all content creators who played it. Some people really liked it, some were more mad at it. Primal has been almost universally loved on it. Not exclusively. I know at least one person who wasn't as into it, but almost every content creator I know who played it, One Stop Co-op Shop is like one of the best games. Jeremy Howard, one of the best games. Rolling Solo, one of the best games. They're all high on this game, which means not only is it a game that I loved, but
my
it's a game
number one is Primal.
Yeah. Anyways, what's your number one, Devin?
My number one is Dune: War for Arrakis. I
Crossover!
am so excited for this game. I really cannot wait. To play this type of game and to play it 2 times on TTS in a 2-hour window on TTS is like, I cannot wait to get
it could take longer if you play it right.
But I mean, like, even that, like, like, I feel like the margins for both of us were very thin at the end in terms of it could go either way. I mean, like that genuinely could have been the deciding factor. And you even without that, you could have actually won.
Yeah, I had that win. I screwed up.
Yeah.
I screwed up.
I was like, when you didn't do that, I was like, I guess I'll win now. I was like, I'm gonna lose.
I planned my turn perfectly, and then I got to my turn, and I was like, no, I have to be defensive. And I forgot to account for the fact that you couldn't actually do the thing that I thought you could do.
Yeah, because I didn't have dice left, and you had dice, and I was like, I guess I'm just gonna
win now.
See, I'm gonna win, but I didn't think I was going to. So it's absolute blast. The asymmetry of the two sides and the way in which each side feels powerful while simultaneously being scared of the other side, and what they're able to accomplish is such a fun feeling. It really does create the same level of joy and anxiety that I feel when I play something like Star Wars Rebellion or War of the Ring, who are the same designers who did War of the Ring, worked on Dune War for Arrakis. And like, I can see the design threads, and I know that like War of the Ring has such an intense following and a massive fan base, and I understand why. Like, it's a really, really big game, and it's kind of one of those things where you're like, I understand that holistically I might like something more, but if I'm able to get something to the table like repeatedly, like that is such a strong thing. And also now at my house I have War of the Ring, the card game, which I'm really excited to try that out. And to me, like, the combination of those two games might make a case for me that between those two I don't necessarily need War of the Ring unless, it's just the joy of being able to schedule that at some point.
You haven't tried the card game yet?
I have not. I'm really, really excited to.
Do you like it? The moment you play, text me.
Have you played it?
No.
No,
I want to know.
Oh, okay.
When you play,
I'm
tell me.
super excited about it. I'm super excited about it.
I would
So,
love to.
Dune War for Arrakis is my number one pick. I'm super excited. I have a number 0 pick that I have to talk about at some point, but War for Arrakis is one that I'm stoked about. So, what's your number one?
My number one is My Island by Cosmos. I love how I said that thing about Adventures in Robin Hood and then immediately My City. So it is the follow-up to My City. It's a new iteration in the same world where, again, like we've talked about it a bit, but you are playing through different scenarios where it'll add rules continuously to it. And you will develop your city, and I assume it's going to be similar where you will be making adjustments to your tiles and things like that.
Is this the one where you're trying to like build up the island for the cats to immigrate to?
Yes.
Okay.
You get cat stickers that you put on.
Really?
I'm going to do that.
Oh, okay, fine. I didn't know what was going on.
Race to the raft.
But like,
you're trying to get them off of
this
one
goes
island.
back to
Are you
that
going
point
to another
where
island?
I had my island as my number 3. I had it over Arydia. Why did I have it over Arydia?
Because it's so fun.
Because I will play it. I will play 24 scenarios, and it will be played and it will be executed on because it's so accessible. Sometimes accessibility is a big deal in games.
The thing I love is that it's a campaign and it's a personal competitive puzzle. So you're doing your own island, you're doing everything that you want, making your own decisions based on the same things that are coming up for everyone, and then you see who scores the best at the end. And I love doing polyomino puzzles like that I'm just addicted. I'm addicted. It's one of those games that we're going to play it, and I assume we're going to sit down to play like 2, and then we're going to end up playing like 18. It's going to be crazy. That I'm so excited for this one. I can't wait.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it.
Do you know it all?
I know nothing about it.
Well, do you know anything about timing-wise if they'll implement it in Board Game Arena?
Oh, I don't know that at all.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I assume it'll be much later.
He doesn't know anything about it.
I know it has hexagon pieces. That's all I know. Because let me rephrase that. If it doesn't have hexagon pieces, you should change your box art. Because right now it shows hexagons dropping onto the island.
No, I think I've seen. I think there's pictures though.
I haven't seen that. There's also My City Roll Night, which I want to play that as well. But we'll get to that later. In any case, my number one is our first and I believe only 3-way crossover, and this is The Witcher Old World.
Are you excited about this?
A little bit, yes. The Witcher Old World. So again, I think Primal edges it out on the gameplay alone, but The Witcher Old World is very up there, and it's a one-shot, and it has solo and cooperative as well, with the Night Hunt. What's it called again?
Wild Hunt.
The Wild Hunt. That's the one.
It's the same thing in the video game. With
The Witcher Old World is such a good experience. It has deck building, as you're going to be building out your deck and be grabbing cards, and the cards chain. So when you're fighting these monsters, you have these cards where you're trying to chain sequences that makes it feel like the video game, where you're like, if I do the right combo in the right order, and so you have these aspects where I'm going to play this card, which I'll follow it up with a blue thing, and I'll follow up with this, and then do this ability, and I just did 8 damage to the monster, and defended myself for 2, and then the monster goes, and you brace yourself, you take a little bit of hit, then you repeat the next round of combat. So the monster fights are really there, and they're really solid. It is competitive by default, and every single turn you're wandering around and having encounters, which means every turn you're going on these different branching pathways that things will happen, and you'll be like, oh, now I have a quest, and now I have to head to the mountains over there, which is good, because while there, I'm going to stop at that, which is cool, upgrade these traits and these abilities, while also slowly powering yourself up, gathering more stuff, gambling, doing these like other interesting encounters, occasionally fighting other witchers for points. Go ahead, ask a question.
It isn't the thing. One of the things that was interesting to me about the card play is it not also your health? Don't you like discard cards if you get hit or something?
It's something along those lines, yeah. Something along those lines. You have to be mindful of your deck. A deck is how you run out or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the whole entire thing was just ridiculously satisfying in terms of the monster combat, in terms of the general adventure aspect, in terms of the RPG elements and the story and all those things, and just having chaining pathways of different things to attract your interest and attention on the board. I really like The Witcher Old World, and the thing I love about it is I walked into the review as like, I love this game, it's amazing. Here are like my 4 complaints, and then the campaign was like, oh, by the way, we got all your complaints covered. Like, all these things were, like, all completely covered as far as the way they already...
Board Game Co.
Yeah. It was, like, stretch goal stuff. It's like, okay, great, we have this and we have this. You want a co-op mode because it feels like it should be co-op? We have that. You want the monsters to feel more meaningful and different? We have that, too. They had all these things to make the only complaints they had against the game that I really enjoyed. All the complaints were addressed during the process of just having their campaign and dealing with that stuff. I wanted more interesting cards. And they're like, yes, we have tons of more interesting cards coming your way. So, like, it was really good. I'm very excited for it.
Nice. I'm super excited.
Yeah, it's exciting. I like The Witcher Old World. Yeah. Our first 3-year crossover.
Very excited.
And with that, that's going to end our 2023.
Except...
Oh, yours number 0.
Option 0. And if you guys want one, you can share one too.
Adventures.
I cannot believe I forgot this, and I don't know if I just scrolled over it or if they just didn't adjust the date on it, but Vampire the Masquerade chapters.
They didn't adjust the date, probably.
I think they may have just not adjusted the date on it, and this is up there with Dune for me, and maybe even above it, just because the World of Darkness is one that I'm really like compelled by, and I cannot wait for this. Like, I've played I talked about this in our top 100. Like, I'm so excited for this, and I think one of the elements that is in this game that I don't see in as many games is like an absurdly complex narrative pathway where you make a decision and it is nothing like what would happen if you make another decision. So sometimes
role-play adventure stuff. I want more of that.
Yeah.
I think it's like that on steroids. Like, I mean, like insane level of like narrative depth. I mean, like stacks upon stacks of cards that like adjust where you go and how you do things. You can be like, I mean, if you're not familiar with like Vampire the Masquerade and the different vampire clans, all of them have different ways that they approach things. They're either like beguiling or they're like political or they're violent. And you have all of those different like stylistic choices of how you resolve situations, and the art design is insane. I mean, like Flyos went from doing like a smaller game in Until Daylight to taking on a insane IP project, and like the quality of what it seems like they're putting out there. I mean, they hired a bunch of people to augment their team and to boost it, and it is delayed, it is late, but I cannot wait for this game to come, and it is one of those games like that I know you sink time into, and I'm so excited to see what the world's like. I can't believe I forgot it.
Do you have a 0 pick?
No, there are a lot on you guys' list that I'm very excited for. Like Septima, Tidal Blades, Devon's list.
Yeah.
We cross over.
Our list is basically the same list.
Yeah. But yeah, so that would be like maybe my runner-ups is ones like that.
Yeah, for me, and Daenerys Adventures would be my 0 pick. Unconscious Mind, holding off, Race to the Raft, you already covered, so I can have that. Daenerys Adventures to me is just, I cannot believe I missed it. Also,
Yeah.
probably a date thing. It's probably, this says 2022 as well. And
Is Daenerys Adventures going to be 2023?
it's coming soon. It's getting
Yeah.
ready to, like, show up. Yeah. There's going to be giant painted dragons on my table, Meg. Giant painted
Dragons?
Yes. Giant painted dragons are coming my way. A whole box load adventure in a world that I love that I don't play nearly enough. I want to play more games. Can we just, like, quit our whole, like, YouTube thing and just play games instead?
I mean,
We
we
could-
can.
Cool,
Like,
let's do
it
that.
is actually a conversation.
Yeah, let's do that.
If only the YouTube thing was about board games.
You want to move to Arkansas?
Hey, I appreciate all of you. This may be the last video on the channel. Thanks so much for...
Pass right by that.
In any case, that's our 2023 list of games we are very excited for in 2023. There's a whole lot more. 2023 has a lot of stuff coming our way that we... It's a good year. It's a good year. It's been a good year for board games for a long time now. It's been a good year.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go and wrap this up. I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
I thought we were going to do it at the same time.
Do it together. I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
I'm
Meg.
Devon.
Yeah, close enough.
Bye.
See you
Have a
guys.
good one.
Thanks for watching.